Right now, more than 90% of global trade moves across the ocean. Everything around you, your phone, your car, your food, your fuel, your medicine, almost all of it spent part of its life on a ship. The modern world floats on steel. But hidden beneath the surface of global trade is a reality few Americans understand. The United States Navy remains one of the most powerful forces on Earth. America still dominates aerospace, technology, finance, military spending. The country that once built ships faster than the world combined can barely build them anymore. Commercial shipyards disappeared. Factories closed. Skilled workers vanished. Entire coastal cities collapsed into industrial silence. And while America slowed down, China built the largest shipbuilding industry in human history. Tonight, we investigate how America lost its shipbuilding power, why modern shipyards became impossibly expensive, why the U.S. struggles to replace aging fleets, and what happens when the world's largest economy can no longer build the ships that keep global trade alive. There was a time when America built ships at a speed the world had never seen before. During World War II, American shipyards became industrial weapons. Entire cities transformed into manufacturing machines. Thousands of welders, engineers, steelworkers, electricians, pipefitters, working around the clock. The United States produced Liberty ships so rapidly, some were completed in less than 5 days. America didn't just build ships. It mastered industrial scale itself. And after the war, that industrial ecosystem remained alive. Commercial shipyards thrived across California, Louisiana, Mississippi, Pennsylvania, Virginia. Shipbuilding created entire middle-class economies. Ports expanded. Factories multiplied. America became both a naval superpower and a commercial maritime giant. But beneath that success, the foundations were already shifting. The collapse did not happen overnight. It happened container by container. During the second half of the 20th century, global shipping changed forever. Containerization revolutionized trade. Goods moved faster, cheaper, more efficiently. And suddenly, manufacturing no longer needed to stay near American consumers. Factories moved overseas. Then shipbuilding moved with them. Japan rose first. Then South Korea. Then China. Each country poured enormous government support into shipbuilding industries. Subsidies, cheap labor, massive industrial planning, gigantic shipyard expansion. Meanwhile, America moved in the opposite direction. Wall Street rewarded outsourcing. Manufacturing became less profitable than finance. And shipbuilding slowly lost political priority. By the 1980s, commercial shipyards across the United States began collapsing. Some shut down entirely. Others survived only through military contracts. And once industrial ecosystems begin disappearing, they become incredibly difficult to rebuild. Shipbuilding is not just about ships. It's about ecosystems. A single modern vessel requires steel suppliers, engine manufacturers, electronics companies, skilled welders, industrial logistics, specialized ports, training schools. When shipbuilding declines, entire networks disappear with it, and America allowed many of those networks to die. Generations of skilled workers retired. Fewer young workers entered industrial trades. Universities prioritized software and finance careers. Meanwhile, industrial training programs shrank. The result? America didn't just lose shipyards. It lost shipbuilding culture itself. While America deindustrialized, China industrialized at historic speed. Over the last several decades, China transformed itself into the center of global manufacturing. And nowhere is that transformation more visible than shipbuilding. Modern Chinese shipyards are almost difficult to comprehend. Miles of cranes, gigantic dry docks, continuous production lines, entire districts dedicated to maritime manufacturing. China now produces more commercial ships than almost every other country combined. And the implications extend far beyond economics. Commercial shipbuilding creates industrial power. Industrial power creates military capability. The same factories building cargo vessels can support naval expansion. And increasingly, geopolitical power is shifting toward nations that still know how to build things at scale. Modern ships are floating industrial cities. Gigantic container ships contain advanced navigation systems, automated logistics, massive engines, environmental controls, global communication systems. Building them requires extraordinary coordination. And in America, costs exploded. Labor costs rose. Regulations increased. Supply chains fragmented. Industrial land became expensive. And with fewer shipyards competing, prices climbed even higher. Today, building many commercial vessels in the United States costs dramatically more than building them overseas. Not slightly more. Sometimes several times more. Which creates a devastating cycle. Fewer orders. Less experience. Higher costs. More decline. One law sits at the center of America's maritime debate. The Jones Act. Passed in 1920, the law requires goods transported between U.S. ports to travel on ships that are built in America, owned by American, screwed by Americans. Supporters argue the law protects national security, maritime jobs, domestic industry. Critics argue it increased shipping costs while failing to save American shipbuilding. The debate has become deeply political. But both sides agree on one thing. America's maritime industry is shrinking. Even the United States Navy now faces growing industrial strain. Modern warships have become staggeringly expensive. Delays spread across naval programs. Maintenance backlogs worsen. Shipyards struggle to expand capacity. And replacing aging fleets takes longer every year. Military dominance depends on industrial capability, not just weapons. Production, repair, maintenance, replacement, and increasingly, defense experts worry America may lack the industrial depth required for prolonged maritime conflict. America also faces another growing problem. There are not enough workers. Shipbuilding requires brutal labor, extreme temperatures, heavy steel, dangerous environments, years of specialized training, and many younger workers no longer see industrial trades as desirable careers. Meanwhile, experienced workers continue retiring. Some shipyards now struggle to fill basic positions. Not because ships disappeared, but because the workforce did. The global economy depends on shipping remaining invisible. Consumers expect shelves to stay stocked, fuel to arrive, factories to operate, ports to function. But recent supply chain disruptions exposed how fragile maritime logistics truly are. One blocked canal disrupted global trade. Port congestion delayed billions in cargo. Container shortages spread worldwide. And suddenly, the hidden infrastructure of globalization became visible. The world depends on ships more than ever. At the exact moment many nations no longer know how to build them independently. America did not suddenly forget how to build ships. It slowly dismantled the industrial system that made shipbuilding possible. One factory closure at a time. One outsourcing decision at a time. One lost generation of skilled workers at a time. And rebuilding industrial ecosystems is far harder than destroying them. Because shipbuilding is not just manufacturing. It is accumulated knowledge, infrastructure, supply chains, experience, an entire civilization of steel and labor working together. The oceans still carry the global economy tonight. Massive ships crossing invisible trade routes between continents. But somewhere beneath that movement lies a growing geopolitical question. What happens when the world's largest superpower can no longer build the machines that move the world?